Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be walking you through this makeup look. It's just my go-to like everyday makeup routine, and I know I put that in quotes, and that's because I don't wear makeup every day, and whenever I do wear makeup, I don't always wear this much, but if it's a day that I'm actually getting ready, even if it's just like to go shopping or something casual, if I'm doing a full face of makeup, this is the look that I typically do. I'd say this is like a 20-minute makeup. It did take me a little bit longer to do it today because I was talking through everything, but I can do this in about 20 minutes. So it's definitely not like a quick running late like natural makeup look or anything. And whenever I'm filming, especially in my most recent videos, this is typically like what I'll do for my makeup. So I hope you guys find this video helpful, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to do my face makeup first. I know everybody has a preference, so if you like doing your eyes first, whatever. I just like doing my face makeup first. So I'm starting off just by priming, and I actually use two primers, but the first one I'm going to use is the It Cosmetics number 50 primer. And this is actually an anti-aging primer, but I just really like it because it's hydrating and smoothing, and it gives my skin kind of a tacky finish to it, which I feel like just gives my foundation something really to stick to. So I'm going to start off just by putting like 1 to 2 pumps of this all over my face. And then the next primer that I go in with is the Benefit Porefessional. I don't really need to say too much about this because I know it's a really popular product and I'm sure most of you have used it yourself, but I just use a tiny bit of this. I don't use it all over my face. I just put it in like this area right here where I have bigger pores, and that's the only reason that I go on with 2 is because that other one doesn't really do anything to fill in pores. So I just go in with this one where I really need it, and then I also like to bring it onto my nose just because I get a lot of texture on my nose, and I feel like this one really helps to smooth everything out. And then now that that is finished, I'm just going to give my skin a couple minutes to let those sink in and let them dry so that they don't move around once I start doing other makeup. Alright, so then the next step I don't think is necessary for everyone, but as you guys can see, I do have a little bit of acne scarring, mostly on this cheek and then a little bit on my chin as well. So to cover that up, I like to go in with the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Redness. This stuff is so full coverage. However, in case any of you guys are unfamiliar with this product, it does only come in one shade, and it is too dark for me since I'm pretty much a ghost. So that's why I do it before my foundation. That way I cover it up, and then once I go in with the foundation, there's not like a color difference between this product and my foundation, if that makes sense. And you just need a really, really small amount of this. I just dip my finger into it. I know that's not the most sanitary, but I'm the only one using it. And then I just use my finger to pat that onto any areas. You guys will see it literally just like disappears. It goes away. This stuff is so good at covering redness and scars. I recommend this to so many people, and everybody that I've talked to has loved this product. So it is so good, but I don't know if you guys will be able to see it on the camera or not. Now I have this like yellow circle on my cheek, and that's why I do it before my foundation, because I would just have a lot of like uneven patches if I did it after my foundation. And then I like to just let this dry so that it doesn't move around once I start putting product on top of it. Okay, so then moving on to foundation. This is definitely one of my favorites. This is the Too Faced Born This Way. I have repurchased it. I love this foundation so much because it gives you a lot of coverage, but it doesn't look heavy at all. Like, it literally looks like you're not wearing anything on your face. So what I like to do is just put 1 pump on the back of my hand, and then I use my finger and I just start dotting it around my face. And I always just start out with a little bit because I can add more if I need it, but I don't want it to be too heavy on my skin. And then I go in with a beauty blender. This is definitely my favorite way to blend in foundation. And then I use the round end of it, and I just pat the foundation into my skin. Okay, so now I just have a light layer of it all over my face, and I just have some on the back of my hand still, so I'm going to go in the areas I just like to get a little bit more coverage. And I really like to focus it on my nose as well as this area right here, just because that's where I get a lot of redness. Alright, so next up is concealing my under eye circles that are very bad today. And to do that, I use the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I absolutely love this. It's so affordable, and I just find that I get good coverage from it. It blends out really well, and it just looks good on the skin. So I just put this underneath my eyes, and then I also make sure that I put it in this inner corner because you get so much darkness there, and I feel like people always miss that when they're putting on concealer. That's all I do. I don't go crazy with the whole triangles under the eyes. I used to, and I just feel like that's a waste of product. So I just use what I need. And I like to start off with my finger just because I find that I get the most control over it, and I can really put the product specifically where I want it and where I need the most coverage. And as you can see, that's just super brightening. I love that concealer so much. And then I like to just take whatever's on my finger and put that on my eyelid because they are super veiny and red. And then once I have most of it blended out, that's when I switch over to my beauty blender. And I just make sure that I don't have any harsh lines from it. And this also absorbs any excess product so that it doesn't look heavy or cakey under your eye. And then the powder that I'm going to use to set everything is the Tarte Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Tinted Press Powder. And this is really good at just controlling oils throughout the day and just setting everything into place. They also make it in a translucent version though if you prefer one of those powders, and they have it in a loose one if you want to bake. And then now to bring some color back into my face because I just look super washed out right now. Everything just looks so flat and pale. I'm going to go in with some bronzer first. This is the NYX Matte Bronzer, and this is in the shade Light. I love this. I'm actually really close to hitting pan on it. And the brush that I like to use to put on my bronzer is this one from e.l.f. I don't know what the name is because it doesn't say, but this is a big fluffy brush, but it has a pinched barrel, so it's not round. It has more of a long shape to it. And it's really nice because I like to take this part right here, and that's what I use to put the bronzer just in that area. And I feel like it just does a really good job of placing the color as well as blending it out. And as you can see, I'm really making sure that I blend it back towards my hairline because I don't want to have a harsh line where my bronzer just stops. And I also like to blend it upwards too to give my cheeks some color as well. And then I also like to just lightly do my forehead. I don't like go crazy with it because I don't feel like I have a big forehead, but just to balance everything out so that the bottom half of my face isn't super bronzy and then my forehead is white as a ghost. And I know that I'm definitely guilty of going a little heavy with the bronzer sometimes, but I like it. If you don't, then you just don't have to do as much bronzer as me. And then that's all that I do. I don't contour or anything just because I don't like the way that it looks on me all the time. So I just go in with the bronzer to warm everything up, and then I like to go in with some blush as well. So I go in with this one from Lorac. It is called Prism. It's just a really neutral light blush. It's good for every day. And whenever I put on my blush, I like to start further back and then blend it forward. That way it's not too harsh in the center of my face. And then lastly, to top everything off and to give my face some glow, I'm going to go in with a highlighter. This is from Lorac as well, and this is in the shade Daylight. Their highlights are really, really nice. They're about 20 bucks, which is good because a lot of high-end highlights are closer to like $30 or even $40. So definitely check these out. They have a lot of pigment to them, but like I said, they're not as expensive as other high-end highlights. This is one that I use pretty much every day. It's a really pretty gold color. So I always start off with the tops of my cheekbones. And then I also like to put some up here at the arch of my eyebrow. And then just put whatever is left on my brush because I don't want it to be too harsh. I like to go down the center of my nose. So then the next step for my routine is filling in my eyebrows. However, I'm not showing it to you guys today because next week I'm going to be filming an entire video dedicated to my eyebrow routine. So I will go ahead and do that now and then skip past it. And then once that video is up, I will link it down below in case you're watching this later on and you want to see my eyebrow routine. Okay, so I just finished filling in my eyebrows. I didn't show it to you guys because, like I said, I'm going to be doing a video dedicated entirely to how I fill them in. Also, they need to be waxed very, very, very badly right now, and I didn't want to get too close and show you guys that because it's really bad. But obviously, filling in your eyebrows makes a huge difference. I know I make mine super thick. I know not everybody's going to like that and they think it looks too much, but I don't really care because I like the way that they look. So I'm going to move on to my eyes now, and I haven't really done anything super heavy with my eyes for a while. Like, I don't even know the last time that I wore winged eyeliner, which is kind of weird for me because I was definitely the type of person to do it for just like day to day. So I'm going to start off with eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal, what is this? Infallible eyeshadow. This is in the color Amber Rush. I'm sure a ton of you guys know what this color looks like. A ton of beauty vloggers raved about these when they first came out, and it took me so long to try it, but I'm so happy that I did because it is honestly one of my favorite eyeshadows that I've ever used. Like, the pigment of it and the texture of it and the color is just, everything is perfect. So I'm just going to use my finger to put that on. That's actually how I prefer to put on almost every lid color that I do. I just find that I get the most pigment from it and it just goes on the most even without getting any fallout. And I don't prime my eyes. I just wanted to mention that really quickly. I know most people need to, but because I put the concealer and powder on my eyelids, that's typically good enough for me. So I just start putting this on to my eyelid. Then that's all that I do for eyeshadow on my lid, but then for my crease, I typically just go in with the bronzer that I used earlier because it's convenient and it's typically right there. And then I just use a fluffy brush to put that in my crease, and then that just blends out the edges from the lid color that I put on as well. And then I just finish it off with mascara. So my favorite right now is the Benefit Roller Lash. I've been using it for a couple months now, and it is honestly one of my favorite mascaras that I've ever used. It has the arched wand, which I like, and it's just like a comb basically, and it just does a really good job of coating all of your lashes. And I like the rubber ones like this because I find that I get more length out of them. I don't really like too much volume for my mascaras. I'm just going to coat my eyelashes with this. And whenever you're putting on your mascara, I always say this to people when they ask me how I get my eyelashes so long. It makes a really big difference if you put them on the back of your eyelashes as well. So I coat the base and the length of my eyelashes on the front. And then once they're coated pretty evenly, I just go on the back, mostly just on the top half because I don't want to get mascara on my eyelid. But this really makes a big difference if you're trying to get your eyelashes to look longer. And then I just use the same mascara to coat my lower lashes. Okay, and then the very last thing that I do to finish everything up is going with a lip color. And my most used lip color recently has been the NYX Liquid Suede lipstick. And this is in the shade Soft Spoken. Yeah, Soft Spoken. I love the formula of these. If you've never tried them, they're so good, but they're so cheap. And this one is just like a rosy mauve color. Okay, and then that finishes up my makeup. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you're new. And yeah, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I don't know if I said that already, but I will go ahead and talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!